So, long-awaited Jamaica video is finally here. I know it's taken such a long time. It's been over a month now since we even got back, yet alone left. You know, better late than never. It's gonna be quite heavily edited. I don't want it to be too long, but it's everything that we did over the span of like 2 full weeks. And yeah, I did a couple of videos where I was just sat in the hotel room just ranting. There's going to be a lot to come throughout this video. I'm not going to say too much, so it's not a longer video than it needs to be. So hope you guys enjoy. It's up to 3 of the 52 challenge I'm doing. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one, but enjoy this vlog. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed the little montage I had there at the beginning. I just wanted to kind of set the scene for some of the way how this whole vlog is gonna go. But basically, there were a lot of things that I didn't actually end up filming and things that I didn't get that much content of, mainly because of how busy the whole time was. And well, there were just so many things that kept going wrong. So that's why I'm just speaking over this B-roll of me taking some pictures and, you know, the occasional dance in there as well. So I hope you guys enjoy that. But I think the main thing to take from this whole bit of footage is that there was a bit of some issues just across the board with the journey. So I'll mainly just go through with the footage I do have and just do voiceovers in places because I'd like to give you guys some context of how things actually went. So yeah, let's get into that. So real quick, I need to jump in to talk about the inconveniences of this trip. Otherwise it's going to get completely not discussed in this thing at all because I forgot to mention it on the trip. So I'm going to talk about it now. More or less, there were a lot of things that just kept going wrong on this trip. Actually, I will always rep this hat because I will always have respect for what these guys were able to do for me and for my career. Shout out to Liverpool Uni Sports. So this Jamaica trip it was amazing, don't get me wrong, but we definitely had some problems that came up down the line just when it came to the difficulties of actually being able to travel in the first place. I'm just gonna list them off. So first things first, I almost didn't get on the flight. This is because the whole way we were getting cheaper tickets was because of my uncle's flight hours since he works for British Airways. I wasn't on his flight hours. My sister, my mum, my 2 uncles, they all got bumped up to first class. But for me, I was still stuck in economy. Anyway, I almost didn't get on the flight because there were some issues with collecting the actual flight tickets because it's all based on how many spaces are left in the plane. So because of this, I then had to wait behind in the airport at Gatwick for maybe about almost an hour. So I had to be given keys and money to be able to get home if I needed to, all the way from Gatwick Airport. But then there were issues when we actually landed in Kingston Airport where we almost didn't have some of our bags. So it didn't turn up for ages. It almost took 2 hours for it to actually show up. But my uncle's stuff on his suitcase handle broke off when they dashed his stuff into the plane and his stuff got sent to Thailand. So that already wasn't great. There were more issues than that. Actually, before this, trying to actually get through security was a nightmare as well. So because my family was all in first class, it also meant that they were first to get off the plane. They're really far ahead in the immigration and visa line to get into Jamaica in the first place for border control, and I'm stuck all the way behind them. So we had to fill out the form whilst on the plane of all the information and stuff of where we're going, what was the total price of all the goods we took. Then the most important one to this scenario was how many people we were traveling with. On mine, I put that I was traveling with 4 other people, as I was. When we then got to security and I got to the border, they said, well, where are the 4 people you're traveling with? And I was like, well, they're in first class, so they went through already. And they thought I was just straight up lying. So they sent me to the other side to sit down and wait to be like questioned individually about my stay and my like all these details I didn't know a lot of stuff about. I ended up taking a much longer time to actually get through security and the border. We then didn't actually get to the hotel until I want to say like 1 in the morning, probably. For whatever reason, our flight wasn't to fly into Montego Bay Airport, but instead we flew into Kingston and then had to drive an extra 3 hours to actually get to the Holiday Inn in the first place. So it was just a nightmare, just across the board.
But wait, there's more.
So the next thing, when we actually arrived, we were given the wrong rooms. My mum and my sister shared one room and I shared a room with my 2 uncles, and there were only 2 beds in the room. So we were like, well, like, what are we supposed to do? Am I going to sleep on the floor? So we ended up swapping rooms because the room was actually a lot bigger, and then to need to bring a bed in. Oh, this decided to happen. Storm hit us and all the power cut out for 2 days. I mean, it wasn't 2 days straight. It was 2 days on and off. So there were points where we'd have power and points where we had to literally light candles to be able to eat dinner. It wasn't great, but as I'm going to keep stressing, I'm not ungrateful for the fact I was able to go on this trip, because in all fairness, it'll come into the next thing that happened, because the whole reason why we went on this trip in the first place was to see my grandfather. But I actually went to Jamaica in I believe it was 2010. So we went to go see him when he turned 70, and now he is 83 years old and he's aged a lot. But I really look up to my granddad. I mean, I don't know much about him. I wasn't really around him much since he moved back to Jamaica when before I was 5. So I didn't really get to be around him or see him. Obviously, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here in the UK. And he raised not just my mum, but also her siblings, my aunts and uncles. I do plan to name my first son Jabez if God willing, I have a son, but we'll see. We'll see. It was weird to see him so frail and like so elderly. Like, I mean, I know it had been over, 10 years since we had seen him last, but it was really good to see him. But he was very unwell during that time. He had vomiting virus and we didn't really get to see much of him. And he just seemed so weak, is probably the best word I can think. Yes, there were some mishaps and some things that went wrong leading up to that point of the trip, but the Lord knows. And all of these things that did go wrong, yes, they went wrong, but had a great time. It was an amazing trip nonetheless, and it was really good. But yeah, I'll let you guys get back to the rest of the video because I've been rambling, I've been talking, I'm sorry, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of it. Here's some more stuff I have to show you. Hello everyone. Yes, I'm finally actually vlogging from the hotel. It's so hot in this place. Like, you probably can't hear me talking to the mic. Let me try that again. It's 30 degrees Celsius out here, so it's very, very hot. There's nothing wrong with the heat when it means that I get to have this coconut drink right here. This is what I live for. Plot twist, I was only joking. It's a cup inside the coconut. I'm just kind of cheating, but it looks good anyway, so. It's been a really good trip, actually. I mean, it's been a very busy week. Gone to lots of places, gone and done lots of things. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna be moving around the room. So I'll probably use the opportunity to put footage here, there, everywhere. But we pretty much just had a lot of fun just going to and from place to place, going to play tennis, going to play golf, playing basketball, just chilling on the beach.
Oh yeah, that would happen. Some of my hairs are blonde.
Yeah.
Already?
Yes. Sun's hot, man.
Isn't it?
Oh, this is such a good tune. This is John Holt. This is John Holt.
I've seen Ruth actually, so I might just go over and say hello. Reminds me actually of when I was in Poland with Jordan when our flight got delayed by like 4 or 5 hours. We were playing a big game of chess in the airport. All these flowers and things, like, look at this. It just looks really nice. Like, everything's really colorful. Got some redder flowers here as well. Like, it just all looks great. It's a really great place to be. So after a long day of doing very minimal activities, my mum and I wanted to go to Dunn's River, which is one of the main tourist attractions in Jamaica. So it's just a waterfall that's very, very pretty and is surrounded by lots of green. There's also a very beautiful beach there too, that you can go down quite a lot of steps to get to. So we spent quite a long day, well, to drive there from Montego Bay. I think the journey was about 2 hours, but we eventually got there and we had a great time actually.
4 points. We have Uncle Dion and Nelson.
Hey. Hey, we didn't want to, you know, leave someone out there on their own.
In 3rd place with 46 is me.
Wicked, oh, well done.
In 2nd place with 45 is Uncle Michael.
Hey!
44 is Mum.
Oh, by 1 point!
Oh
my
Had I
goodness.
not had that 6, I would have won.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
But because of you kept getting like
Yeah,
your
twos
hole in
and
one
all.
and 2s and stuff. So
Wow.
Wow!
So close I wouldn't normally shake hands, but, you know.
Because it's
Because the camera, yeah. Teeth.
On camera.
So I've just been editing the video and realized that I didn't do a proper outro. Sorry that the order and quality of this vlog isn't fantastic. I mean, you know, I hyped it up for so long just for it to be kind of mid, but it's all right. It's done now. Still trying to live by done is better than perfect. I'm not planning to travel anywhere anytime soon, so I don't know if I'll be doing much more, but if I do, then I guess you'll see more soon. If not, then I'll be back with a normal upload next week, probably for quite a bit longer. Anyway, that's all from me, so I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye!